So students, a very good morning to all of you, and you know that your term 1 exam is knocking at the door, so you should prepare for the term 1 examination. You know, from biology there were 2 chapters that will come in term 1. One is nutrition in plant and another is respiration in organisms. So if you have any problem, you can ask me here. You can write in your chat box, and there will be MCQ question in your term 1 examination. Okay students, so have you prepared? Yes. Today I am going to discuss some important topics or important points. You know what is the green pigment called? You know, green pigment of plant due to which the color of leaf is green. Name that pigment. You know, that is chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. And another important question is the photosynthetic reaction. Okay, and what are the raw materials which are required for photosynthesis? You know that carbon dioxide, water, along with in the presence of sunlight and also in presence of chlorophyll, and that will make the product called as carbohydrate in the form of starch or glucose and oxygen. So you should remember the point, what are the main products of photosynthesis, isn't it? Any problem here? I hope there will be no any problem in this chapter. We have already revised it many times. Okay. Syllabus for term 1 examination from your biology, that is respiration in organism and nutrition in plants. Okay. Then you have to remember that in the process of photosynthesis, solar energy or the light energy is converted into which energy? Light energy is converted into chemical energy. You have to remember this point. This is very important. Chemical energy in the form of food, that is known as carbohydrate. You know, okay. So this is also a very important point. Okay. And this video will also be uploaded in your YouTube channel, so no need to worry about this. And what is the building block or the fundamental unit of life? You know, that is known as cell, and cell have a nucleus. Okay. And also its boundary called cell membrane, and the nucleus is surrounded by a jelly-like structure that is known as cytoplasm. Okay. So you have to remember this, and you have to also study about the other modes of nutrition in plants other than autotrophs. Okay. So what are the heterotrophs modes of nutrition? Among them, name some parasitic plant just like cuscuta or amarbel, and how they derive nutrition from the host plant. You know, these things you have to just read. Okay. Then again, insectivorous plants, how insectivorous plants are herbivores. They also can make their food in the presence of sunlight. They are also called autotrophs. But why they are just destined to be heterotrophs, or why they are just depends on insect for their total body activity, okay, for their total growth, and how the nitrogen is essential for them, and from where they get the nitrogen. As you know, from the insect they get the required amount of nitrogen. Okay. So this is the thing you have to remember. Okay. And some leaves that these are not green, they also have chlorophyll, and they have large amount of red, brown, other pigment that marks the green color. Okay. And photosynthesis also takes place in these also. Okay. So you have to remember this point also. Okay. Next, some other modes of nutrition in plants such as saprotrophic nutrition. Where does it takes place? In case of fungi. Okay, fungi, you know, fungi on the bread they grow. Okay, fungi growing on bread, and then they also grow in pickles, leather, cloths, and other articles also. Okay, and fungal spores are generally present in the air. Okay, and what is symbiosis? Symbiosis, you know that some organisms that live together and share both shelter and nutrients, and this relationship is known as symbiosis. Okay, and you also known about some example of symbiosis. Okay, you know such association called as lichen. Lichen is an association between algae and fungi. That means there is an association where algae and fungus lives together, and what they actually do, the fungus provides shelter and water to the algae. Okay, shelter, water and minerals to the algae, and in return what algae provides? Algae prepares and provides food for fungi. Okay, so these are the important things you have to keep it in mind. Okay, and how nutrition are replenished in the soil, you know very well, by manures and fertilizers. And you know another point you have to remember, that how the association, symbiotic association, is great significance for farmers. You know, symbiotic association is how much significant for farmers. You have to remember this point also. So there I have revised nutrition in plants, the important topics. Now I am going to revise some more important topics from the chapter respiration in organisms. Okay, so respiration in organism you already know. You have to remember the breathing mechanism including exhalation and inhalation. You know, during inhalation what is actually happens to our body, what is the movement of our ribs, you have to keep in mind. Okay, what is the page number? Respiration in organisms, 108. 108 from your book, Respiration in Organisms. There you will see the main important things, and you have to keep in mind what are the different respiratory organs of different organisms. Okay, these are very important for your exam. Okay, such as you know, spiracles for insects and also for cockroaches, tracheae. Okay, then earthworm, that is the slimy moist skin. Okay, then for fish, you know, gills, and amphibians like the animals which lives in both water and on land. Okay, so such organisms also have different types of breathing organ. While they are living in water, they have breathing organ like their moist skin, and when they are living in land, then they are actually breathe through their lungs. Okay, and when breathing through lungs, that is known as pulmonary respiration, and when breathing through skin, that is known as cutaneous respiration. You have to keep in mind. Okay, so these are the main things you have to remember. Okay, and do plants also respire? This is very important topic, 10.7 from page number 116. Okay, 116, you have to just remember these points also. Okay, and gills are the projection of skin or projection of mouth or projection of scale. You have to remember. Okay, gills are, you know, gills are actually projection of the skin, and they helps in breathing in fish, and gills are well supplied with blood vessels, and for this is mainly for exchange of gases. Okay, so this is the main important things you have learned. Okay, and another thing you have to remember, that is percentage or composition of different gases in air. Means 78% nitrogen, then 21% oxygen. Okay, Then another things you have to remember, that mechanism of breathing in human beings that I have already mentioned, that what happens during inhalation and what happens during exhalation. Okay, what happens during inhalation, you know, diaphragm moves down and air is drawn in, so ribs move out. You can see the picture of 10.5 from the page number 113. This is very, very important. Okay, so during inhalation air is drawn in and ribs move out and diaphragm moves down. Okay, so these are the main things that happens during inhalation. Now what happens during exhalation? Exhalation, you know that what happens, actually air is forced out. Okay, so what happens during that time, ribs move back and diaphragm moves back, so it comes to its original position. So these are the main things between inhalation and exhalation. This is very, very important. Okay, now another point you have to study, you know, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, where aerobic respiration takes place, where anaerobic respiration takes place, you know, and anaerobic respiration in muscle cells produce what products, you know, in muscle cell glucose is broken down into, in absence of oxygen, glucose is broken down into lactic acid and energy. So you have to remember this point, that during anaerobic respiration in our muscle cell, what are the products? Lactic acid and energy. Okay, then anaerobic respiration in some other process, just like fermentation, you know, fermentation that is taking place in yeast, you know, yeast is a fungi, single cell organism, yeast. Okay, and they get energy through anaerobic respiration, and in the absence of oxygen, glucose is broken down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Okay, and these are the things. Okay, you have to remember aerobic and anaerobic respirations products. Okay, these are very, 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 very important. And what is the difference between breathing and respiration? I have told you many times. Okay, just remember those points. Okay, and what is breathing rate? You know, the number of times a person breathes in a minute. The number of times a person breathes in a minute, that is known as breathing rate. Okay, and you know that what is the breathing rate of adult human being, that is 15 to 18 times in a minute, and during heavy exercise what happens, breathing rate become increased, that is becoming up to 25 times per minute. Okay, so in normal condition the breathing rate is 15 to 18 times per minute, and during heavy exercise it become more, that is up to 25 times per minute. Okay, so these are the main points. Okay, and you know what are the different organs which are responsible for breathing, just as nasal cavity, lungs, chest cavity, diaphragm, and you have to remember the function and you have to understand it, these all organs properly. Okay, and also go through the human respiratory system picture, figure number 10.4, that is where nasal passage is located, where oral cavity is located. Okay, then pharynx, trachea, lungs, ribs, diaphragm, these all things. Okay, so these are very, very important things you have to remember, and I hope you will prepare these all in a very well manner. Okay, best of luck for everyone. Prepare for your exam, term 1 exam. Goodbye students. I will help you through e-portal. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, from biology, from science biology, if you have any problem, just ask me in the e-portal. I will answer you immediately. Okay students, goodbye, have a nice day.